Hello everybody and welcome back to Spirituality with Gabriella. So today we're doing a pick a card reading on where you'll be 1 year from now. And this is a very exciting reading. So if you're curious what kind of major events might take place over that course of time, this will be a good reading for you. And we're working with 3 piles today, and I'm going to do about 10 minutes per pile. So here we have pile 1 with the turquoise. Here we have pile 2 with the rose quartz. And then here we have pile 3 with the tiger's eye. So take all the time you need to tune in and find the pile that speaks most to you. And once you've done that, you can fast forward using the timestamps below to get your own personal reading. And I will see you all there. Thank you so much. All right, pile 1, welcome to your reading. So I have your cards here and I'm going to shuffle them so we can find out where you will be 1 year from now. Alright, so I'm only going to use the Rider-Waite deck today because I think this is going to give me all of the messages that we want and need collectively. So the first thing I want to say is when I look into your energy, the first card being the Emperor, I'm getting a very strong career vibe here. So the first thing I saw was someone really progressing in their career, going to the next level, going to the next phase. And for some of you, this is becoming a leader, like a manager or a director, or even leading a small team of around 4 to 6 people. It could be up to 10, but I think for most of you it's 4 to 6. And then there are others of you who have your own business. And to me, it seems like you are going full-time with your business, or if you've already done that, you are growing your business. It feels like both paths are very successful, and I'm positive that we have both groups of people watching this reading, so I want to make sure to cover both. But it feels like career is going to be a major focus for you over the next year, and that you're going to have a lot of success with it. And the thing that I also want to say is it feels like whereas right now you might look to other people for mentorship, it feels like a year from now other people look to you for mentorship. So of course, a lot is going to change. Not every single thing in your life will change, but I think career will be something that will be really formative for you, and you will be able to guide other people to pursue the path that you have successfully pursued. So we also have the World here, and this to me again is extremely significant as connected to career. I feel like your life feels a lot more balanced a year from now than it does today, and right now it kind of feels like you're doing anything you can just to keep the ball moving, just to stay making progress and all of that kind of stuff. But it feels like a year from now you have a lot more space and you have a lot more comfort with your schedule. And what I want to say is definitely seeing the Emperor, the World, and Temperance together. These are 3 very significant cards. They're all major arcana cards. And when I see Temperance here, I think that this is actually about your work-life balance and your schedule. Because I'm getting that you have more balance in a year from now than you do today. And it feels like you have more time for yourself. And I feel like right now, not all of you have enough time for yourself, and it feels like you've kind of lost that spark or that thing that makes you super excited or whatever it is that makes you wake up in the morning. But a year from now, you 100% have that back, and that's actually double confirmed because we have this spark here and here as well. And not only do you have that back, but people are looking up to you, they really admire you, and they feel like you are doing an amazing job at whatever it is that you do. The other thing I want to say is it feels like if you are on a team with other people, you are the one who's seen as the expert and you're seen as the guide. And what I'm getting is you have a lot of contextual knowledge in that area, whereas the other people, they might have been in the same company for a long time, and so they don't know any different kind of feeling. And you might have come in from a different company to this new company, and you really help provide new insights. So that won't be the case for everyone, but I definitely feel like you have an important stake in the game. And the other thing that I've actually never noticed before is if you look here, the Emperor is holding this coin. And so to me, it feels like you are an important stakeholder and you are someone who helps to form the mission and to really push things forward with the people you're working with. Now, if this is your own company that you are asking about, for example, or that you're curious about, I believe that this is going to be making you more money a year from now and that you have a lot more direction and purpose with it. Because when we see the Emperor, this is someone who is a ruler and very much an owner. So it wouldn't surprise me if you have your own company and other people are looking up to you because you're the one who's kind of organizing all the events, calling the shots, that kind of stuff. So the other thing I'm getting is that a year from now, a number of you, I think, are thinking about either moving or moving into the next chapter. So this could be either figurative or literal. Now, some of you will not have moved yet a year from now, even if you want to move today. That's just the energy I get. However, I feel like a year from now, you're going to have a lot clearer of an idea of exactly where you want to live. And I think that many of you, especially if you're in your 30s, so this would be more relevant for people in their 30s, will actually be looking to purchase a house or looking to go to the next phase of life in that state, in that sense. And it feels like a lot of you actually know who you're going to be living with and all of that kind of stuff. So definitely looking to the next phase and trying to mature as an adult. So that's something I want to say that is definitely coming through for me. So for some of you, if you are looking to move, I think something might happen where it just doesn't feel ideal. Like we have the tower here and it feels like the place you were looking to move, it ends up not being such a good choice for a number of reasons. And I think that might be hard because let's say you were planning to move to Texas or Ottawa or something like that. I'm just making those up. And then for some reason you decide, oh no, that's not actually perfect, or maybe something falls through. That could be a bit of a shock, and that could be connected to moving for a person, for example, or moving for a job, and then that thing falling through. And just to be clear, I don't think that if you're with a person, it's not really like you break up or whatever. It's more like maybe they got a job and it fell through. So whenever we see the tower, we always need to be careful with that card because we don't want to make too many assumptions, but it just feels like to me this would be connected to your planning of the next chapter. So if you're watching this and you feel like the next chapter is moving into a house or whatever, it could be something like, oh, you get the house and then you figure out, oh my gosh, like it's thousands of dollars in repair work. That's just a quick example. But what I want you to know is whenever we see the tower, it's actually a good card in the sense that it provokes a lot of change and a lot of growth. And then we always need to pay attention to what's before the tower and what's right after the tower. And as we see here, we have the Two of Wands, which is already a positive card because it's about planning and action and travel and strategy. And then we have the Ace of Pentacles. So what we can interpret by this, and I know I'm giving you a little tarot lesson here, but hopefully it's helpful, is that you're planning, something destabilizing happens, but look at what happens as a result. There's an offer, there's something new, there's something exciting coming through. So here we have the Ace of Pentacles, and when we see this card, this is about the end result being even better than what you thought it would be in the beginning. So this would mean that something new is coming to you. This could be an even better house. This could be an even better, situation in terms of living. So whatever it is you had planned, it doesn't work out 100% as you intend, but hey, something even better comes around the corner. And what I want to say is This situation, it's actually good that it happens because it ends up saving you a lot of money. I'm getting the sense that if you went through with this plan that you initially had, let's just say it's moving to a new house, you would end up spending literally thousands and thousands of dollars. And then at the end of that, you wouldn't be happy because you had spent all of that money just to live in a normal house, so to speak, or just to live a normal life. However, because this falls through, you actually end up saving money. So whether that means you stay in the same place for a little longer, or you don't move into the house of your dreams at the beginning and then you find another one, it seems like this final outcome is super positive, so I'm not concerned about it at all. So I'm just going to get another deck over here. We have the Golden Thread Tarot deck, and I'm just going to see if there's any final messages that want to come through for you about a year from now. Okay, so here we have the Nine of Cups, and this is super positive. So again, I feel like a year from now, you really are a lot more lucrative than how you are now. Like, to me, it feels like your salary has probably doubled based on where it is today. So that feels really positive. It feels like you're definitely in a stage of high growth and you're able to afford whatever it is that you want. So I get the sense that it's not just like you can afford only your living expenses. No, it feels like you can afford so much more than that. You can afford to make your place feel pretty. You can afford the nicest clothes. You can afford a really good lifestyle for yourself. And a lot of that is because you've put in all of the energy that you needed to, and therefore you're going to get a lot out. So here you have justice. And so a just outcome is coming to you and the scales are balancing. For those of you who are not in a relationship and are thinking, when will I be in my next relationship and stuff like that, I think for some of you, it requires a little bit more balance, and it feels like your work-life balance is going to actually open up in order for you to find your next person. So there is this balance energy as well as strategy here. However, that doesn't mean that you won't be in a relationship. It just means that the universe is going to be sending you more space to make your future relationship a lot more productive and a lot more successful. And so we have the Queen of Wands here, and I get a really strong energy of strategy, and this can apply in many areas of your life. But number one, I think this channels straight into your career and your business if you have one. And then number two, this would be secondly, your relationships. If you are already married with kids, for example, which I get very few of you are, but if you are, then I feel like this is more about your parenting style and really growing into more of a humble but authoritative parenting style. So you're still going to be there as a means of support for your children, but they really learn to respect you and trust you. Whereas in the beginning, perhaps you're kind of not sure exactly how your parenting style should be. So I'm going to end the reading here, but I hope that this gave you a lot of clarity and guidance today, and I can definitely do a more in-depth reading in the future if you would like that. If you like this video, please give me a big thumbs up. You can hit that subscribe button, share it if you feel so inclined. I also have made a Patreon channel, so if you would like more exclusive readings, which will not be posted on YouTube, as well as live readings, and I also do pick a card readings, you can join it as well, and that would make my heart really happy. So thank you so much, everyone, for watching and listening, and I'm sending you all so much love and light. All right, thank you. Bye. All right, group 2, welcome to your reading. So I'm just shuffling your cards to see where you will be a year from now. The first thing I want to say is you are going to feel really secure a year from now, especially when it comes to emotions. So this card has a lot to do with finances normally, but the first thing I thought to myself when I was shuffling your cards is, wow, are these people getting married a year from now? So some of you are actually getting married or are ending up in a very significant relationship a year from now if you are not already. And the reason I'm saying that is because this card is all about holding on tightly to something or someone. Now, most people interpret this as a financial thing, but I think not only will you be financially abundant, you will also have the emotional security that you've been looking for, and that is definitely going to be true a year from now. So I feel like if you're in a relationship already and you're happy in it, it feels like you're going to stay with that person. That person's really going to protect you and love you. If you have not met your person already, I wouldn't be too concerned because it feels like a year from now you will meet them, which is good. Now, pentacles are also symbolic of hard work. So with hard work comes a high reward. And so you will need to work hard in order to either find this person or make the abundance that you want to make. However, what I'm getting is I find you very practical and smart. And so it feels like there's no need to be concerned about doing this. It feels like you are going to kind of lay out the plan and do the actions that you need to do in order to be successful. So there is an energy here of a little bit of sadness and letting go of stuff, and for some reason, I have no idea why, I see this being somehow connected to your mother or perhaps your family. This could be things like old cyclical patterns that repeated themselves and you're just tired of them and don't want anything to do with them. It could be feeling like your family doesn't understand you 100%. And honestly, even if you have a really supportive family now, there's always things that come up where people just don't necessarily see eye to eye. I don't make too much of this, and if the family thing isn't resonating with you, then it's totally fine, let that go. But basically, when we see the Five of Cups, this means that you might struggle with something which makes you feel like you lost something. However, when we see this card, this is not an intense loss. This is not the same energy you would get with a much more intense card where it's like the Ten of Swords or something like that, which is a complete ending. The Five of Cups is more like, yeah, you did lose something, but sometimes that thing had to be let go, and look, there's two new cups which are literally right there behind you as long as you just turn around and look at them. So if you feel like something in your life is kind of trending in this direction, the truth is perhaps that thing needs to end, or perhaps that thing needs to be reduced in your life in order for something better to come. And I'm not going to skip ahead too far, but if you look at this and then you see the Fool over here, I feel like that is very much the case where yes, something might be kind of lost, but it feels like so much is gained as a result. So we have the Three of Pentacles here, and for me, when I'm seeing this card, this is you bringing in a lot of learnings, a lot of practicality, and really becoming clearer in your judgment. So I feel like some of you at this stage, as you're watching this video, can be a little bit more junior when it comes to certain things. So just for a quick example, let's say that you just started a new role or you have a business or something like that. You can't possibly know everything that you need to know. And what I'm getting, Spirit is saying that's totally fine. You're not expected to be any faster than where you are right now. This could also be with relationships, by the way. Like if you're not really experienced with dating people, Spirit is also saying it's totally fine and take your time, so don't rush this. But what I'm getting is that from now until a year from now, there is immense growth. So if there's an area of your life where you feel like, yeah, I've kind of been pushing that off, I really do need to learn that. It could be anything. It could be like accounting. It could be like, you know, having a relationship with someone. And honestly, it could be anything. Basically, the fact that this showed up in your spread is meaning that over the next year, you're really going to grow in your talents and skills. And the sense I'm getting is that currently this is something that you know that you need to dive into, but you've been kind of avoiding it. So whatever topic or subject it is that you've been avoiding, it feels like there will come a point in time where you're not going to have a choice anymore. And what I'm getting is that if you're watching this in May 2021, for many of you, I'm getting February 2022 is when you will need to learn this. You will have no choice. Honestly, this could be something as menial as making sure that you file your taxes correctly. I'm just giving you a quick example, but it feels like the good news is that, especially when it comes to a career-focused thing, for example, or just something where you need to grow your skills, I feel like you can learn it online. I'm getting an energy of being able to search for this on YouTube or hire someone who's really good at that thing. So I am willing to bet for most of you this is not actually a relationship thing. For some of you it is. I think for at least 2 to 10 of you it is actually a relationship thing because you simply haven't had as many relationships, and so that's kind of the journey you need to go on. For most of you, I think this is more of a career thing or a learning thing. It could be like getting certifications, or it could be like focusing on an area that you haven't focused on yet, or even just a new project that you know you need to do, like your heart calls you to it, but you haven't totally dived into it yet. If there's something that you could be learning and you haven't started yet, I would definitely go for it. So the other good news is that it looks like your finances are going to be really good next year. I feel like you have a lot of security. It feels like money is flowing in. If you have customers or clients, I feel like they triple, so it doesn't feel like you have any problem getting work. I also feel like this is the type of energy that comes up when the hard work is behind you. So whereas in the beginning of this year, this would be like anywhere from May 2021 to December 2021, you are still working really hard. After that, I feel like the energy kind of shifts into something that is a lot more enduring, stable, and practical. And I feel like you are able to be more like this woman. So having more time outside, doing stuff like falconry, as an example. So of course it won't be falconry necessarily, but doing stuff for fun, you know, being in an abundant area, being in a warm area. And I feel like a lot of you, I'm getting a hot energy, so being somewhere like California or even Mexico or just somewhere warm. I feel like a lot of you are in a warm place. That's important. The other thing that I am getting drawn to just as I look at this card is there is a small snail here on the left, and this symbolizes that to get to this stage you do actually need to put in a lot of work. So it's not like this is going to come overnight without you trying to do anything. I feel like you do need to manifest this, you do need to work for this, but what I'm getting is that as of next year, especially 1 year from now, you are so much more aligned with your life's passion, and I feel like you're so much more in your element, which is really, really good. So we also have the Queen of Wands here, and I see this as you planning for the next stage, especially romantically. So I get a very strong romance energy when I tune into this pile. I feel like some of you have already found your partner and you're just going to continue to be with them. If you haven't found your partner yet, I believe I said this, but I feel like you definitely will over the next year, which is good. And I'm getting that your partner is loyal and is someone who is kind of always there for you at your side. And so I think that once you find this person, it's kind of like, okay, what's the future? So you're looking into the future, you're thinking hard about how can you translate the positive foundation that you already have into the next phase or the next stage. For some of you, this is having kids. For others of you, this is getting married. So marriage was the first thing I got for this pile, and that makes perfect sense with the Fool here. If you are already married, it would be having kids or getting a house or just, you know, building a business, whatever it is that you have as a goal for your life. I see it being significant, so I don't just see it as something like, oh, I want to travel and take a fun trip. It feels deeper than that. So I think that this next year is going to really help prepare you to kind of go into the next phase. And then again, I see romance as being a significant theme. Lastly, here we have the Fool, and when we see the Fool, this is about traipsing off into the new path, the new destination. For most of you, I'm getting this as love, because when I look at this card, the Fool is a very romantic person. They are kind of fanciful, they're kind of dreamy. So again, you are going into a new phase that you don't know a lot about yet, and the truth is it might be a little harder than what you think at times. Just pay attention to the imagery here because we have the mountains in the background, and it's almost like the Fool is walking towards the edge of this cliff, being very, very happy and fanciful, but they don't yet know of the journey and how hard it's going to be. So the truth is that yes, things are going to be hard. However, when we see this Fool energy, it typically is super positive and it means good things are coming. So I feel like a lot of you are getting married, for example, or are going into a new relationship. Sure, you might not know everything, but you're going to make your pact to each other. You're going to exchange your vows if that's something you choose to do. And it feels like going into the next phase. So yeah, the next phase might not be 100% perfect, but you are a lot happier to be in the next phase with this person by your side. So I feel really positive about this. And I know this is kind of silly to bring up, but just so I say it before ending this reading, it's important to pay attention to imagery, and I say that a lot. This woman has the falcon with her, almost like she's in this pair. This woman has the cat with her, like she's in this pair, and this person here has the dog with him, like he's in a pair. And so I'm getting the romance thing is really strong, and a lot of it is that you're gonna find the right person for you, the person who completes you, or the person who helps add to your life and helps make you feel that much more abundant. And I feel like you two have a very good life together. There's a lot of security, there's a lot of stability, and you're holding on tightly to each other. And then seeing the Fool here with a whole new beginning, that makes me really certain that you're going to go into the next phase of your life or the relationship, and it just feels super happy. And I do get an energy around commitment, especially starting here kind of all the way over. So it feels like you're committing to something new or someone new, and then you're just kind of deepening that over the course of this upcoming year. So I feel really positive for you, and I hope that this reading gave you some clarity and guidance. And if you liked it, please give me a big thumbs up. You can hit that subscribe button, share it if you feel so inclined. We are building a community of love and light together, so I really appreciate every single person who joins. And if you would like to follow me on Patreon, you will get more exclusive readings as well as live readings there. So just hit the link down below and you can sign up there. So thank you guys so much, and I will see you in the next video. Bye! Alright, pile 3, welcome to your reading. So I have your cards here, and I'm just going to shuffle them and see what comes through about where you'll be 1 year from now. Alright, so we can start with these. So the first card we have here is the Empress, and I know that some of you are going to scream when you hear this, but the Empress is the card of pregnancy. And so if you're a woman watching this reading, one of the messages I got is A, that your health would be a lot better a year from now, because I see a lot of you as really cleaning up your diet and really focusing on eating healthier foods, especially greener foods. But secondly, I can see a number of you being pregnant, because I am seeing an image of a pregnant woman carrying a child. So especially when we see the Empress, this is kind of double confirmation that A, I'm seeing it, and B, we have this card here. So if you're hoping to have a family, if that's something that you're looking for, it feels like a year from now that is definitely available to you. Of course, if you don't want that, totally fine. The Empress is also symbolic of a woman who is just one with nature, someone who's outside a lot, someone who spends a lot of time in the outdoors, the wilderness, whatever it is you wish for. And she's also highly creative. So I feel like a year from now, you have really developed your intuition and you've really developed your clarity of judgment. One thing I am going to say though, and I'm just telling you honestly, is I'm just getting a huge energy around family. So I feel like you invest in family, and for many of you, this is not only having children, this is raising the children, this is focusing on them a lot. So this is something that I'm tapping into very strongly, and it's definitely for someone out there, and I would say it's for a couple of you at least. So definitely take that message if it resonates and if it's something that you are excited about. So we also have the Two of Pentacles here, and to me, this is money flowing in, money flowing out, but it's not just about money. I'm getting something about fashion actually for some of you. I'm getting that a year from now, you might have changed your style radically, or you might be going through your closet and deciding what to get rid of. You might even be deciding to live a minimalist lifestyle and trying to mindfully disconnect from more of a consumerist lifestyle. So this is something you might be seeing the effects of already today, but I'm just getting an energy around clothing, and clothing as being significant to your transformation in some ways 1 year from now. So I'm sure that many of you are watching this reading to ask predominantly about career or love. So before I go into any of those, I do want to focus on health for just a second. 1 year from now, it feels like your skin is glowing, and I know that's a very specific message, but I wouldn't be surprised if you go on a bit of a health kick from now to 1 year from now, because I'm seeing stuff like vitamins, I'm seeing lotions, ointments, tinctures, stuff that would make your skin glow, and also just being outside more. I feel like it's really good for your skin. Your skin is getting the sun it needs. And funnily enough, 1 year from now, it feels like you're aging backwards, not aging forwards. And just as I said that, I noticed that you have the Empress, which is 3, and the Two of Pentacles, which is 2. And I can't help but feel like that's kind of a confirmation. You're literally aging backwards. So when I see this Queen of Cups here, yes, you are more emotionally mature. Yes, you have better clarity of judgment. But I also feel like there's a youthfulness about you, and there is a sense about you where people are just like, wow, I wish I was like this person. I wish that I could look like them. I wish I could dress like them. There is an energy of the people in your life really looking up to you and admiring you. And what I want to say is this does not feel like you're talking on a stage or like you're famous or whatever. It is the people in your life and the family that you have and the friends that you have close to you. So I feel like a year from now, you will be very much admired by your close family and friends. So here we have the Seven of Pentacles, and I'm getting an energy of disagreements, especially as connected to someone you would spend a lot of time with. So I don't see this being major, by the way, but just to give an example, because I'm on this family theme here, it could be something like you and your spouse are just arguing a little bit about how best to raise the kids. And it doesn't seem like a big conflict. It seems like you have your way, you don't want to curb to their way, and vice versa. And so it feels like, yeah, there might be a little bit of conflict, but I don't see this being something that is 100% important, because even though that is a really important topic, I feel like you two do come to an agreement. It just kind of feels like neither one of you wants to budge. So this might be a slight annoyance. This might be something you have to deal with. And I feel like through this situation, you actually are able to transform quite a bit, and you're able to somehow challenge this person's thinking. So it doesn't have to be your spouse. It could be a family member who is judging you for doing a specific thing. It could be a friend you've had since childhood who expects you to act one way, but you want to act the other way. It could be that someone in your life expects you to follow a certain career path and you decide to do the opposite. So you're understanding the theme here. But what I'm getting is that through this situation, you actually develop more confidence. And when we see Death here, this is you going on your own path, doing your own thing. Now, if this is connected to your kids and your spouse, I don't in any way see a breakup, so that's not what I'm trying to suggest. What I mean is that you are becoming more confident in your line of action, and you're not going to change your opinion for just anyone. And so I feel like a year from now, you are just stronger in your conviction and you're not willing to be what some people typically call a pushover. So you're definitely not going to be changing just because other people want you to change. You're not changing just for the sake of it. You are the type of person who is growing and heightening your judgment. And the other reason that I feel strong confirmation with this is whenever we see this death card, you know, there are things in this person's life that they have left behind. They're walking away from that stuff, and even kind of darkly, there's a dead person literally here, but they're walking towards the sun. And yes, they still need to make some steps towards the sun, but it's very much there. And they're also walking towards the Pope or the Hierophant, who is wise and who is a teacher. So they're not exactly 100% aligned with this person, but this person's influence is in their sphere and in their life. And so they have a lot of direction and control over where they're going. Two of Swords. So what I'm going to say is a year from now, there's a situation that perhaps you're already dealing with, which you want to resolve. It may not be 100% resolved. Just to play with the idea I had before, let's say you and your spouse are fighting about how to raise the kids. You think they need to go outside more. They think they need to go to bed by 8 p.m. I'm just making it up, so take it as an example. Not everything in your life is going to be magically resolved, and that's okay. When we see the Two of Swords, this can be a stalemate, it can be a pause in energy, it can be two people who do not agree on everything, but I don't see this being a bad thing. I see this as just being the reality of the situation and something that you two work through together. And I do see this being a situation with one other person predominantly, so chances are you already get into little tiffs with this person, but I feel like there's a deep sense of compassion from both of you when it boils down to it, and so I think that this situation will actually work out just fine. It just may not be 100% resolved like how you want it. So let me pull a couple more cards here. Alright, so this definitely confirms some of the energy I'm feeling already. So we have the Fool here, and I just have to say I'm getting such a strong family vibe when I tune into this pile. I feel like this upcoming year for you is very positive when it comes to social interactions, when it comes to family, when it comes to romance. It feels like there's so much newness. It feels like Spirit is kind of helping you in all of those spheres and making your focus more about your social life and more about the relationships in your life. So of course that can extend into career because your relationships do influence how you're perceived and all of that, but it feels like this next year is not so much about hitting milestones or goals in terms of career. It's more like building a life that is in alignment with what you want socially. And I feel like what you want socially is a community that loves and supports you. You want people who you trust. You want to raise your children well if you want to have children. And you want to feel youthful. And I'm definitely getting that youthful vibe, especially when we see these cards here. So we also have the Knight of Wands. And I'm getting an energy here around speed and pursuing your ideas. So especially if you are getting older, closer to 30 or closer to 40, I'm getting that you are growing stronger in your convictions and you're no longer going to budge to another person's lifestyle. So it feels like over this next year, you grow so much confidence in your voice and in being transparent with people. And I feel like that really helps you because it really helps you manifest things that you've been looking for. It helps you grow in your life in a way. So whereas in the past you might have stayed quiet about things that were really important for you, it feels like over this upcoming year you just say it. And just by saying your truth and speaking your truth and asking for what you need, I feel like the universe is so much more in alignment with you, and then it knows what to give you. And because it knows what to give you, things come into your life pretty quickly. So whatever you want to manifest, group 3, just focus on writing down your affirmations, focus on manifesting it because the energy is clearly working with you over this next year. When we see the Eight of Wands here, this is fast-moving energy. This is not the type of energy that's slow. I feel like a lot of you are going through major transitions. Some examples that come to mind are maybe you're working at a corporate company and you decide to do your own business full-time. Or perhaps you are in a relationship and you decide to have kids and take it to the next level. So, whatever it is, it feels like you can get literally whatever you want, and the energy is working with you, not against you, which is something you should be very grateful for. We have new beginnings here, we have a lot of speed and a lot of action, so I believe that the next year is going to be really busy for you. But it feels super successful and it feels 100% worth it. So I hope that this gave you some clarity and guidance. This was a really fun reading today. If you liked it, please give me a big thumbs up, hit that subscribe button, share it if you feel so inclined, and if you'd like to join me on Patreon, you can join using the link below, and you can also get my personal readings in my YouTube banner. So thank you so much, and I will see you guys very soon. Bye!